Thank you for watching our quick video here. I know May 20th is right around the corner, and a lot of things are happening with the phase one reopening of our economy and our businesses. And I thought it would make a lot of sense for myself and Heather Otis, our environmental health officer, to sit down and have just a brief conversation from social distancing and kind of discuss what you can do to keep yourself safe, what businesses can do to get themselves reopened, and where we can go from there. So I'm actually here in the town hall, and Heather's down in the Emergency Operations Center, and we've been practicing some pretty good social distancing that way. But with that being said, Heather, what are the guidelines as businesses start to reopen on May 20th?
Well, it's really exciting that some of the businesses are able to start reopening. The businesses that are going to have to enact some pretty strict guidelines for their staff and for the public as they open. It's going to be important that they limit their capacity to 50% of their normal operations. They need to implement some routine cleaning of high-touch contact surfaces such as door handles, keypads, styluses. They need to make sure that the public is wearing face masks when they're inside their businesses and that they are providing PPE to their employees when they're expected to work. And still encourage that those that are in the high-risk groups and over the age of 65 stay home and not participate in these reopening guidance.
Great. What are the guidelines for restaurants opening with an outdoor dining area on May 20th?
So once the restaurants are approved for reopening on the 20th, it's important that the seating allows for patrons to remain 6 feet apart, not just the tables. So they need to be able to measure from where the people are sitting and congregating to stay 6 feet apart. Restaurants have been instructed to implement some staff training on how to properly don and doff PPE like masks and gloves for serving food. The restaurant should be monitoring the temperatures of their staff when they're reporting for work daily. They're also providing PPE to their staff like the other retail businesses are. They're completing the self-certification through the Department of Economic Community Development's website. They should be posting some new signage for the rules that are to be expected of the patrons inside the restaurant dining areas. They need to make hand sanitizer available to staff and the patrons. And something that you may not consider is that the menu should be disposable or available on a whiteboard or chalkboard or somehow available online for patrons to view on their phones.
Wow, that's a lot of changes that we're going to have to get used to.
It is.
So what can people do if they go and they frequent a business and they have some concerns? Or maybe if they see individuals who are not following guidance from the governor?
So with the newest executive order from the governor, he has deemed places to be public health facilities. And so these are facilities that are normally permitted by the health department. So hairdressing, cosmetology, barber, restaurants, daycares, things of that nature. So if you go into one of those establishments and you see an issue with either staff or patrons, that can be reported directly to the health department. But in that same executive order, the governor is requiring towns to have a municipal designee. And that's who's going to be enforcing the same distancing guidelines, but outside of the public health facilities. And those need to be reported to the non-emergency line at police dispatch.
And what can the public do to keep themselves safe?
They need to keep doing what they've been doing, stay home as much as possible when they don't need to be out and about, continue to wear masks and cloth face coverings when they are in public. It's really important that people make sure that if they're wearing gloves when they're out running their errands and shopping, that they properly take off the gloves before getting back in their car and touching their steering wheel and their phones, and that they're properly disposing of the PPE. Continue to practice social distancing when they are out in public. Wash hands regularly. Keep social gatherings to less than 5 people. Continually monitor yourself for symptoms. And the most important thing to do is if the health department or an academic institution calls you to perform contact tracing to let you know that you've been in touch with a positive contact, it's important that you participate and provide the information so we can try to stop the spread of COVID-19.
That's some really important information. Thanks, Heather. Where can people go to get the most current information and guidelines?
So we've been maintaining the website, southwindsor-ct.gov, and there's a red banner across the top to get to our COVID-19 information, which is also where we publish our daily case rates, and we have some interesting charts and graphs breaking down the information by age, gender, race. You can also visit ct.gov/DPH, cdc.gov, or the Town of South Windsor Health Department's Facebook page.
Great. And I would say to everybody, you know, bear with us. It's going to be challenging as things move on. You know, May 20th is not going to be like a light switch exactly, although I think some people want it to be. And, you know, just keep in mind that safety is a mindset, and we have to all do our part in taking care of each other, not just for ourselves, but for our families and for our neighbors. And we're in this as a community together. So stay safe and have a good day.
Thank you.